we're teaching, we're alive. We're like diamonds in the sky. Teach right like a diamond.
Hello, fellow fellows and fellow educators. This is Diamond Emerald bringing you another gem. Good vibes, education, and motivation. Still talking to you about managing your classroom and hybrid learning, right? So the last example, or I don't know how I'm going to order these videos, but in general, I've already talked about your breakout room as a place to conduct behavior management or having one-on-one conversations. I want to continue with that with another story. So again, I teach the 12-to-1 environment. I love my babies. They're the students who have the most severe disabilities in whatever school setting you're at. So for instance, my 12-to-1 class does not look the same as a 12-to-1 class across the street or down the street, but it could look similar to the one in another borough. It doesn't matter, but just note that that's the setting in which I'm referring to. I'm also referring to hybrid learning. So this means that I'm in person with a mask, with my glasses, with the face shield, like I can't breathe, I can't see, this is our life now, right? And I also have like a couple kids in person and a few kids online. So I have to do both. I have to simultaneously set up a Zoom room and teach virtually to kids online. And then I also have kids in my physical space. I even have footage of this just so I could actually remember and keep in my head like what exactly was going on. But mind you, I still have to be a teacher, a boss in my classroom, and manage the behavior styles of my students and my own behavior style as we go through this process. Again, I want to highlight being a certified extreme teacher really helped me figure out who I am so that I can better serve my students. So in this scenario, we have a student who's a latecomer into our class setting. He's been struggling with remote learning, and I'm going to call him Ty, right? Ty's been struggling with remote learning, and so is in my class really just to make sure that he has a safe space because him and I have made a connection. So while he should be in the ICT setting, he's at risk in this setting just to make sure that he's getting some type of class engagement. And so this student has also been through a litany of trauma through this COVID learning experience. Me and his mother were on, a very good basis, so we're communicating regularly about what he's going through. That does not excuse him from acting out in a way that further traumatizes the kids in my classroom setting, right? I have to acknowledge his needs. I'm doing wake-up calls every morning for him. He's getting these Bitmojis sent to him. He's getting these gemstone meditations sent to him. He has a point of contact. He can call me at any time during the day to check in or figure out what class he's supposed to go to. Okay, long story short, we're in the Zoom room. Everyone's cool. I've got kids in person. They're moving around to make sure that they're feeling comfortable in their own space, right? They have all this space to themselves, right? They can't go out of that space, but they have all this space to themselves. I have my own space, right? And so the student has started this habit of yelling out expletives in class, just like blurting out answers that aren't true, but also saying things in English and in Spanish that are offensive, right? And so I heard it happening in other classes, but I hadn't actually seen it come up, manifest in my classroom setting. So my demeanor is very open, it's very positive, right? I'm smiling all the time. I'm giving clear instructions. I'm having clear conversations with my students, right? But he's interrupting. And so he blurts out an answer, he blurts out a word, he blurts out a series of words that are just nonsensical, but also offensive. It's just not the vibe of the classroom. So when it happens live, right? Okay. I don't think that's the right answer, but all right. Thank you for speaking up. We'll have to deal with that. I don't like that language, but let's keep it moving. Keep it moving, right? As soon as I get the opportunity, right, I give them, just like I mentioned before, a task for the class and I pull them into a breakout room. What's different about this scenario than the one I spoke about previously is that now Ty and I are not actually alone in this scenario. We're in a private breakout room, so the other 4 or so kids online can't see him, but the 3 or 4 students I have in person can still see us. They can see me. They can't see him, but they can see me. So I still pull him into a breakout room. The smile goes away, and I say, you cannot interrupt our class in that manner. It's disrespectful. Do you understand what I'm saying? I appreciate you. I'm so glad that you shut up to be in this class today. I'm so glad we have a great communication. We have a great relationship, but what you're doing to those students is not fair. They want to learn just like you want to learn, and you're not presenting your best self. I know that you're better than this, and I want you to act in a way that's good for our environment so that we can have a successful class. Does that make sense, Ty? Ty is very easily redirected, to be honest. I know that he had some trauma. He wants attention. He's not actually acting out in a way that's best for him, but I want to know that I see him. I value him as a member of this community. I know that that behavior is not becoming and it hurts other students in the class, but I also want to give him a chance and give the opportunity for him to re-enter the class in a space that is good for him so that he can continue on with the lesson. Because the goal is, beloved, for all of us to be in here together. It's not to ostracize someone. It's not that someone makes an infraction and they're kicked out of class forever. That is not the goal. The goal is to get everyone on the same space. Please keep speaking up. Yell out if you want to, but how about you yell out some answers that are content related, right? Or how about we meet for office hours? Because I will invite you to office hours if there's some things that we need to talk about. Does that make sense? Right? So have this conversation. If it doesn't make sense to the child, we will continue to talk about it. But I want to invite him back into the scenario. So once we're on the same page, I thank him for coming into the breakout room, because technically he could have clicked no. He could have left the Zoom room. He could have hung up on me, but he did not. So thank you, Ty, right? Let's go back into the main room and have a wonderful rest of our class. Okay, thank you. Back into the room. In person, one of my favorite students, they're all my favorites, right? One of my favorite students, Sean, was like, whoa, Miss Skinner, I forgot how serious you could be sometime, right? And I'm like, yeah, because I haven't had to. But you know that's not cool, right? You agree that that wasn't cool, right? So now everyone can hear us, right? But I'm just having such a conversation with Sean, right? Sean's like, yeah, that's true. That's true. That may have been something I did in 6th grade, but yeah, that's not something we do here, right? He knows. And I'm like, exactly. If you were to do that same thing, I would speak to you the same way, right? I treat everybody the same. And I have to reiterate that. I never let something happen in my classroom so that it makes it seem like this one person is getting all the heat. Nobody likes that. Nobody comes in feeling good when that happens. So to be culturally responsive, I induct them into our culture. This is how we speak to each other. This is how you will be talked to if you have to be talked to. But we will also come back together and make everything work for us, because our goal is to be together. And I'm also allowing you to be the boss of your behavior by giving you another chance. And nothing to a real one. And nothing to a boss. And nothing to a real one. And nothing to a boss. And to be a boss teacher means making sure that your students are the bosses of their own education. This is Diamond Emerald. If you haven't already pre-ordered the book, teachlikeadiamond.com. Go check it out. I'm also here for you, new teachers and new teachers to the game of this hybrid learning, going back in and out. I'm here for you. I love you. We're going to have an amazing year. Fear not, shine bright. Have a wonderful, wonderful week.